Okay,
check.
let's start this. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Jose. I'm going to be your guide in this experience. We're going to learn something about mezcal. Okay, I want to welcome you to the Agave Tradición Oaxaqueña. This is the name of this palenque. Palenque is the denomination for places like this when we specialize in the making of mezcal. We do everything here. We have some fields where we cultivate some agaves. We also do the fermentation, distillation. The whole process is done here. Okay. Here in Oaxaca, we have 28 plus different kinds of agaves. Out of these 28 here in the agave, we picked 12 of them, and we specialize in the distillation of those 12. Here, out of these 28 species, we only have one that can be farmed. Only one can be cultivated. Is this one? It's called espadín. Espadín constitutes 80% of the mezcal production. Okay, why? Because it's the only one that can be cultivated. It's the only one that can be farmed. So it's the only one that we can mass produce. The other 27 we have to keep them wild. Why? Because once you take them out of the turf, their natural environment, they stop producing starch. Okay, without starch, we don't have sugars, we don't have alcohol. The other reason is because this little guy is a perfect example. He's been here for 10 years and he never grew it never will. Okay, so that's why. Once you take them out of the turf, they stop producing starch, they stop growing. Sometimes they even start dying as soon as you take them out of their environment. So that's why it's still talking about espadín. We're talking about 5 to 7 years that we have to wait for a pineapple to be ready. Or we're talking about 14, 16, 24. It takes to 24 to be ready. We have one is called arroqueño. It takes 30 to 35 years to be ready. Once it's ready, in the middle, instead of opening, it's gonna start growing a stalk in the shape of like an asparagus. I don't know if you ever got to see one. This is gonna grow up to 3 meters tall. So it's gonna grow, and the very point of it is gonna bloom. The flowers will die. Right behind the flower will come out seed bag. Seed bag will dry. Eventually, will pop, releasing the seeds into the wild. Because they're really small, they're gonna be planted close together. Once they grow, they start leaning on each other. We're gonna take them out, do the domestication process. What's a domestication process? We let them dry for a couple days. We're gonna cut off the roots. We're gonna cut off the outer layer of the agave, and then we're gonna plant it on a different field. Okay. Why we're doing this is helping them adapt better. It's like kind of like erasing its memory. So we cut all the genetic information are in the roots and in the outer leaf. Okay, once we cut that, we're gonna help them to adapt better to the new soil.
Wow, interesting.
Okay, so they don't feel the need for feeding from a field before, from previous nutrients.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we do. Okay, after they outgrow that field, we have to take them out into an open field. So that will be for reproduction purposes. What about mezcal purposes? The stock will grow. Before it blooms, we're gonna cut off the quiote. We're gonna castrate it. Why? Because we don't want no kids. I'm pretty sure you know the feeling, right? They suck the life out of you. So that's what's gonna happen here. The stock start growing, it starts sucking up on the starch from the pineapple. Eventually the pineapple will die. So once we castrate it, why are we doing this? Because by castrating it, we're gonna extend its life for like 2, maybe 3 years. Why? Because the maturity is gonna be random. Not all of them are gonna mature at the same time. So by cutting it, we're gonna extend its life, so we can wait for a couple more to be ready. Once we're ready, we have a ready batch. We're ready for harvesting. We're gonna come here, we're gonna cut off the leaves, cut off the quiote from its very bottom, and whatever remains above ground, that will be our pineapple. That's what we're gonna use for mezcal.
¿Puedo tomar video?
Sí. Solo si se rompe la cámara no me hago responsable.
No lo rompes. No lo rompes.
Y si quieres puedes volar tu dron.
¿Aquí?
En los agaves. Allá hay campos de agave. ¿Verdad que sí puede volar el dron? Sí.